Hey everybody, it's Keith Gosnell, and today I'm going to review a brand new piece of software called Board Commander. Now, what Board Commander is designed to do is help you drive traffic to your website, your blog, your online store through Pinterest. Okay, now, there's a lot of misconceptions about Pinterest. Pinterest is a fantastic source of traffic. Okay, now, the one thing about Pinterest is in order to get that traffic, is you have to be social, okay? So you have to repin other people's content. You have to also put your own content in there as well. Now, you have to do a nice mixture of both in order to start to gain followers as well as get that traffic over to your website. Now, a few things that people don't know about Pinterest is there right now, the latest stats show 150 million active users on Pinterest. And a third of all those users say that they prefer to use Pinterest over Google to search for something that they're trying to find, okay? Whether it be a product or whether it be information, they're actually using Pinterest to do that. That's 50 million people a month using it over Google. That is a lot of eyes that can be on your pins, okay, and can lead to your sites and your stores. All right, but what we need to do is you have to get active, okay? So you have to start to repin other people's pins. You have to get your own content up there as well. Now, what Board Commander does is it's designed to kind of help you do that on kind of autopilot, right? You can set up campaigns that allow you to repin other people's content as well as try to gain those followers. And using one of the most important features of Pinterest, and probably the most underused, is the ability to go in and find group boards. Okay, and we're going to talk about what group boards are here as I kind of go through this software. All right, now with the software also comes training. They're going to give you kind of the over-the-shoulder training on how to get everything set up, as well as how one of their students actually is using this with great success. So you're going to see that case study. You're going to see exactly how he did those types of things, okay? So let's just go ahead and jump right into Board Commander. Now, as you'll see, I have some statistics here. I just hooked up to this a couple of days ago. And like anything, guys, it takes time, right? Anybody who's buying the one-click, solutions that, click a button and, you're instantly going to have this or instantly going to have that. It's a lie. Save your money, okay? There is no instant anything. It takes time to craft these things, okay, and to get these things working for you. The great thing about it is it doesn't take a whole lot of time. And once it starts, it's like a snowball effect. It just gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Even though it may start out a little slow, if you continue to do it and you stick with it and you focus on it, it is going to pay off, okay? So as you'll see, I do have some statistics here. I'm not going to get into them really right now. First, I want to kind of show you what this software does. Okay, so as I said, what this will help you do is a couple of different things, okay? And the first thing we're going to bust into here is the following tool, okay? So let's just go ahead and get a new following task, all right? So what you can do is set up these kind of tasks around certain items, okay? So here what I'm going to do is do a new follow task. And what I'll do is just go ahead and edit the current task that I have in here and kind of show you how I've set that up, all right? Okay, so what you're going to do is going to take you through just a couple of steps. You're just going to give it a name that's just internal to you so that you can identify it, all right? Now, what you're going to also set is your minimum follows per day and your maximum follows per day. Okay, so we don't want to get too crazy, in my opinion. Now, there's different strategies that you can apply to this. I like to try to keep it at least somewhat realistic, okay? You don't want to be following 200 people in a day. It's just not realistic, and it just doesn't look natural, okay? So what I did is I set it up for 10 follows as a minimum, and then I'm going to just do a maximum of 20. So somewhere between 10 and 20 is what I'm going to get out of this. Now, you have a couple of different ways that you can follow people, okay, or follow boards. Is you can follow by keyword, and just enter in your keywords. You can follow by account, and you just enter the URL of that actual user. And you can also follow by boards, or you can do all of them. As you can see, I have a couple of these checked, so you can do both. All right, and what you'll do is you'll just simply enter, if you find a board that you like, just enter that URL, and you can keep adding them here. And what it'll do is then go out and follow and create follows for those particular groups, okay? Now, you can also add things like never follow if there's a board out there that you just don't want to follow that's in your particular niche. You can go ahead and enter those there. Now, there's also a start and an end time. Now, what that means is like when are these follows going to occur? Okay, maybe you only want them to occur during the day, say from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. Great, you can set that up. I have mine set up for 1:23 in the morning all the way through the night, so basically all day long. I'd like this spread out all day to take all day rather than just to put it in a small amount of time. And then, which days would you like to follow? And I have all of them set. Now, there are different strategies, and there's a lot of statistics out there that I found around like what are the best things to pin, on certain days. Okay, an example of that is, let's say, on Mondays, you might want to post motivational things because it's Monday, right? And nobody likes Mondays. So those seem to get the most traffic and the most hits and the most repins on a Monday are inspirational type pins, okay? So that's just one example. There's a million different examples out there of why you would want to pick certain days to follow somebody versus not, okay? And what we're going to do is just hit the start button, okay? So I've already done that. I've already got mine going. So that's going to go ahead and now begin to start following people based on this criteria. Now, what they also have on the other side here is the unfollow tool, okay? And what I'm going to do is just go ahead and edit the one that I have set up already. Okay, so I just give it a quick name. Now, how many days you're going to wait before unfollowing somebody who didn't follow you back, okay? Because what you want to do is you do want to kind of keep that ratio of who you're following versus who's following you kind of close, okay? I mean, I don't know that there's really an exact number out there. I think everybody probably has their own opinion, but you probably want to keep it somewhat close. Now, in the beginning, when you first start doing this, you're going to be following a lot more people that are going to be than people that are going to be following you, and it's just simply because you're either just starting, you just don't have a whole lot of content up there, you haven't repinned a whole lot of things. That's why I said in the beginning, it takes time, okay? So in the beginning, you are definitely going to have you're going to be following more people that will be following you, but I promise you will start to see that number start to get closer to each other as you get more content up there, as you're repinning more, as you're posting more to group boards, and so on, okay? So again, it gives you the ability to unfollow somebody after a certain amount of days. Now, I set this kind of low, and I really, especially when you're starting, I really would suggest setting this higher. And this is my opinion. Everybody has their own opinions, but this is the way that I would like to do it. And I'm actually going to change that to 14. I'm going to give somebody 2 weeks to before I unfollow them. And people some don't just live on the internet to do this stuff, so it takes them some time, to get on and check kind of what's going on in their account. Now, you also have the minimum unfollows per day and the maximum unfollows per day, the start time of when and end time of when you want to happen, as well as the days of the week that you'd like it to happen. Now, you can also protect accounts. You can add as many of those as you'd like. So if there's an account out there that maybe isn't following you back, but you really like it, and you like their board and you like the user, you can put the URL for those accounts right in here, and then they'll never be unfollowed, okay? And that's it. That's exactly how you're going to try to bring that ratio of followers to people that you're following closer together over time. Okay, and you're going to use these two tools to do that. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and save that. Okay, great. All right, so now what else we have here are what's called campaigns. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and just, actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and do the campaign list here. And I'll just kind of show you one of my campaigns that I have on here. And I'm going to edit this one. Now, what this is going to allow you to do is start repinning people's content. Okay, now that is important in Pinterest. All right, that's not a negative; it's a positive. You want to start showing love, basically, to other pinners that are in your niche or in your interests, because in turn they're going to do that back. All right, that's what Pinterest is all about, and that's what people where they miss the boat. You have to understand that it is a social network. Okay, and it works a little bit differently than say like a Twitter or a Facebook. It really relies on people sharing and inspiring each other. Okay, so what we'll do is we just give it a quick campaign name. You can select boards that you want to pin to, and there's a refresh button here because you could be adding new boards, you could be accepted into other group boards. So you just have a nice little refresh button here if you want to go ahead and refresh that list if it's not if it's stale. So what you're going to do is you're going to select the boards that you want to pin to. So these are my boards, and where I want this for this particular campaign, I want them to pin in the high-tech gadgets board. Now you can set up as many of these campaigns as you'd like, and that's how I would suggest doing it. You do it, for a set of keywords or for a one specific type of content, and then post those to different boards. Okay. Now our next step is what you can do is the pin quantity is how many are we going to pin for the day. Okay, I set mine to 20. I think that's fair because I'm doing it throughout the entire day, especially when I'm getting started. I want to kind of ramp that up a little bit. Now remember what I just said as well is that you can create as many campaigns as you want to. So it's okay if you're creating 10 different campaigns and maybe you're only pinning 4 or 5 or 3 pins per day for that particular category, but across 10 different campaigns, that's 30 pins a day. And again, always use your head, keep it natural. Don't get crazy and start repinning 200-300 different pins at a time. Now again, that's my opinion. Other people may say, hey, get nuts. But this is the way that I've always done it, okay? Again, it's going to give you the days of the week that you can do it. And now, if you have a kind of a limited set of source pins, which I'm going to show you next, is you can wait a certain amount of time before you repin the exact same pin. Now, I have mine set to 7 days. So really, it really just depends on what kind of boards and what kind of content you're going after to repin. There's boards with thousands of pins that you'll never repin the same one for months. So you can go ahead and set that to really whatever you want. I would say at least a week. And I would really say just make sure that you have source pins in there that have enough pins to choose from where you're really not even going to get to that point where you're starting to duplicate your pinning. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. Now you can choose where to pin from. So what that basically means is where is this thing going to be pinning from? So when it gets pinned on a board, it's going to have it's going to say what board this thing came from. Okay, where this pin came from. Now in this particular one, I am going to say it is I believe this is the drone news, and then what I have is are the sources that I'm going to get them from. Oh, actually, I see these are the gadgets ones, so I'm going to actually do this one. Oh, I have it selected. Perfect. These are the 3 groups that I found that had a ton of different pins. It was good content. I saw that there was a lot of repinning within those groups as well, and that's important. So I've added these 3 groups. So that's the sources where I'm going to get my repins from, and it's going to come from this board. Okay. All right. And I hit next and just activate. All right, so you just submit it and you're good to go. And what you're going to see is I have 3 different ones here set up and ready to go. And now it's going to start repinning that content. All right, so now you're going to basically show that you're giving love to other people and they're going to start giving that love back. Now, what Board Commander is not for repinning your own content. There's a million different ways to pin your content, and it's very, very simple. Actually, as one of the bonuses, if you purchase through any of the links on this page, are going to be a webinar, a workshop with myself and my partner Carl Schuckert, and we're going to show you some strategies on exactly that. Actually, a lot of different strategies on Pinterest, from setting it up from the very beginning and what kind of account to create, how to set that profile, all the way up through basically kind of using Board Commander and getting it set up, to start getting some traction for your Pinterest account. Okay, now the next feature here is a group board. Okay, now this is a review and an honest review. So this is a positive, but it's also a negative. So what it is what group boards are basically some people will create a board and basically make it public, which means that you can be invited to pin your content or anybody else's content to this particular board. What that does is it causes a huge ramp up in followers and repinning to you of anything that you've pinned. Okay, so imagine you have thousands or let's just say hundreds of different people posting to the same type of board that all have been invited. Okay, you can't just go in there and start pinning. You have to actually request request permission to do so, which is another thing we're going to cover in our workshop. Okay, but so getting back to this, now what you can do is these are all the categories that are available on Pinterest. You can select that category. You can put a title in there as well, and you can simply hit filter. Now, there are other tools out there that do that. But the one thing I do like about this is it's basically stripping out all of the kind of spammy and the nonsense groups that are out there, or stuff that doesn't have a whole lot of interaction. And you want interaction, you want it to be an active board. This kind of strips it away. Where it falls short is I'd love to see some more data here. I would love to see how many repins or how many pins it has, how many repins have been pinned in that board, how many followers does the board have. I would love to see that type of content. Let's hope maybe in the future that as he continues to build onto this software that they add things like that. But to me, it's not a deal breaker, because quite honestly, it's still going to at least filter out the crap and give you some of the good here. All right. So in other words, here, amazing technology. So I'm going to go ahead and I will just click that. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at this. Look at that. I mean, 187 we have. Look at all the followers. That is a ton of followers. Now, I'm going to show you what all of this stuff means in our bonus workshop. For now, I'm not going to go into that. I just wanted to show you the tool here and kind of what it offers and really what it's for, okay? Now, group posting is very, very important, all right? And we'll get to all of that in that workshop if you decide to jump on board with Board Commander. Now, also, you can manage your site. It's very easy to hook your Pinterest account up to this. Now, there is, when you buy the front-end offer, it's for one Pinterest account, okay? I want to make that perfectly clear. You're going to be able to hook up one. They do have an unlimited option that's through the funnel, where you can do, I think it's an unlimited account. I'm not sure, but it's definitely more than one Pinterest account at a time that you can have connected here, okay? Now, what you can also do is it gives you a little bit of some reporting. So we have the pinning history here, which is kind of cool. So it'll show any of the repins. Now, again, I've only had mine hooked up for a couple of days, so I'm not getting a whole lot of repins or anything like that, but I'm getting some pins out there. I'm getting some traction. As you saw, I did have some followers that kind of jumped on board. I've also requested to be in some of the group boards that I've found through the group board finder, and just haven't heard back yet from them. So like I say, it's only been, I think, 2 days now that I've had it. So it's going to show you some board performance as well as your follower growth as it starts to increase. Okay, so you get some nice reporting there as well. Now there's also some great tutorials that'll show you exactly how to use all of these features inside of Board Commander as well. And as I said, don't forget you will get the over-the-shoulder training. It's not training that shows you how to use each of the features. That's in the tutorials here. It's training on how to get everything else set up and how they've found success in the past. All right. Now there are different strategies to use for Pinterest. I've watched his tutorials, his training, and it's a great strategy. Mine's a little bit different, but I do use a lot of the same strategies that he's using and follow the same kind of mechanisms that he does in order to get some success. So that, in a nutshell, is Board Commander. Okay, so now again, guys, don't forget, don't brush Pinterest off as the site you go to find wedding dresses and fashion. It's just simply not true. You can, no matter what kind of content you have, you can definitely drive some traffic to any of your website, any of your online properties using Pinterest if you just do it right. So go ahead, click the buy buttons below, get on board, and we'll see you on the inside.